Hey everyone, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. As you may have seen, I am at the end of my pregnancy, which means my baby shower is coming up. So we are prepping a lot of materials for it. So in this video, we are making this beautiful, in my opinion, welcome sign. So this is a 3-foot tall welcome sign, and we are using white acrylic and white vinyl for this. So we're going to design this in Silhouette Studio. We're cutting our white acrylic with our Glowforge. I cut my vinyl with my Siser Juliet cutter, and I got this pink arch pre-cut already from Houston Acrylic. So I really love that it has a shiny side and a matte side. So this is going to be the welcome sign to the shower. It is 1/8 of an inch. It's really light and it's really easy to work with. So it was great. I was able to just go on the website, choose the size I wanted, and it came shipped to me just like this. So we're going to go through, assemble the sign, and then we'll have this beautiful sign for the entrance to the shower. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe so you don't miss any more uploads. And don't forget, you can use the link in the description to save up to $500 on a new machine. Hi, so I am in Silhouette Studio. We are going to be working on a welcome sign for my baby shower. Now, I wanted a really big welcome sign. Typically, you can get custom cut certain places. I found that Houston Acrylic offered some pre-cut shapes, and so I got this beautiful arch sign, and it was shipped to me so safely, and I was able to get the same color and 1/4 inch acrylic. So I made all of the signs for inside with that as well. So it was really great. I was able to coordinate with that, and I was able to find a pastel in a 1/4 inch, which is sometimes hard for me to find. So I have it in here, and I'm starting off with the same arch base that I used for the smaller signs. So this is 5x7 currently, and I got it from that pack from Design Bundles. I'll link it below. Don't forget, you can always create your own by using a circle and a rectangle. So I'll just show you really quickly. We have the circle tool over here on the left. You want to hold down Shift to create a perfect circle. Then go over here to the rectangle tool. Draw a rectangle. I wouldn't worry too much about the dimensions because we can manually set them. So we'll go ahead and change this over to 10 inches just for fun. We can resize again. And then this rectangle to 10 inches. So you want them to be the same width, okay? So you're going to grab both of these like this, go to your align panel, and then center align it right here, okay? So you can see they shifted just a little bit to align. I'm going to go over to the top left. I'm just going to choose a color to fill it in because I want to kind of see the overall shape of it. And then you're just going to take your arrow and you bring it down until the circle and the arch, well, circle and the square make this arch shape. So typically you can kind of get that when this center of rotation right here touches the top of the rectangle. So you can grab both of these like this. Now let's say I don't want it to be as tall. You can go over, take this little box right here, let's shorten it. Now we have our arch shape, and then we can just go through and weld. Super easy. So right now it's 10 by 15. You can adjust it however you see fit. So you can either do that one or use the pack that I linked in the description. Either one works. So we're going to go ahead and set up the design. We're going to be doing white acrylic and white vinyl. My sign is 24 inches wide and 35 inches tall. So let's go ahead and set it to 24 inches wide. And you can see that this one right here is kind of set to be almost the same, 24 by 36. So I'm going to unlock my ratio and turn on 36. So now I have the shape right here. So now we can begin our design. So with welcome signs, there's a lot of different ways that you can go. You know, a lot of people put "oh baby." Some people say "welcome to mom's baby shower." I always put "mom and dad" because they both made the baby, you know. And then you can do either the date of the shower or the due date, whatever. I'm going to do something a little bit different, not too much. I'm going to have it say "let's celebrate baby pots" and then the month. So we're going to start with baby pots because this is going to be the biggest section. Let's go ahead and type baby You can see this is very small because my workspace is actually huge right now. So I'm just going to make this larger for now, and I'm going to make it a different color. Now this is obviously not the color it'll be on there, but for the sake of seeing things, I'll make it black. Okay, so we'll go to our text style, and you know, I already went through and practiced this because, you know, I want to know what I want, and I like this font right here called Gatkins. So we have baby, and then I want another line for pots. So I'm going to do my favorite trick. I'm going to hover over it, hold down the Alt button, my mouse changes to a plus sign, click and drag, I've made a duplicate. So now I can double click, and I'm in text edit mode, so I did Control A to select everything in there, and baby pots. Now don't forget, baby pots does not have an apostrophe. This is not possessive. She is baby Potts because my last name is Potts. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to just quickly group it by selecting both and hitting Control G. And we're going to pop this in here. Honestly, I think that size works really well, so I'm going to go to my Align panel, align it to the center. There's more editing that I need to do, but I like that size, so I'm going to kind of keep it there for the time being. So now let's do another text box, and I'm going to hit my caps lock, and let's do Let's Celebrate. I'm going to hit Control A to select all the text in there, and I'm going to use Century Gothic. You know, it's one of our tried and true fonts. I think that it works really well for a lot of topics, and I wanted something that's like a sans serif that like almost looks modern but isn't, you know, distracting, that sort of thing. Alright, so we'll put that right there. We'll hit the Alt button, click and drag. Let's make a duplicate down here, and I'm just doing rough alignment right now. We're going to kind of work on that later. And then hit Control A, and then August 2023. So we have our text right here. I always like to do the bottom line a little bit smaller than the top one, so we're going to shrink it down just a little bit. And then let's grab everything like this, go to our Align panel, oops, center align it. Okay, so now we just need to work on some spacing, but before I do that, I am going to work on my text in here. So whenever we work with script fonts, I always thicken them just a little bit when I'm using wood and acrylic. And the reason why is when we cut with our laser, there is an amount of shrinkage or a loss with it. And we want to kind of make the font thicker to offset that so that we don't have really frail, brittle text. So we're going to grab our font right here. We're going to go to the Offset panel. It's over here on the right. It's the star. Let's choose Offset. And it's going to look really small because we have a big workspace. So let's go over. I have it at 0.04. Hit Apply. Now the offset is the last thing we created, so that's what's selected. So I'm going to keep it selected, choose another color. I'm going to choose white, and then grab my text right here, click and drag. And as you can see, it doesn't look that much bigger, so I'm actually going to hit Control Z to go back to take off that offset. And let's actually zoom in so we can see how our offset looks closer. Alright, so now we're zoomed in. Let's choose Offset again. And so you can see the distance is going to be much larger than like what we're used to with other stuff because we're working with a much larger object. So you can see we're at like almost 0.2, almost a quarter inch. So let's go ahead, hit Apply now, and fill it in. And then let's zoom out a little bit. Let's move this to the side. So see how it just looks a little bit thicker? It's going to look weird, I know, but just trust me with this process, okay? So you can kind of keep it that way, or you can also do the trick that I do sometimes where I make these inside parts bigger, or you can make this smaller. So this is up to you. So let's go ahead and bring this back. So I'm going to split the difference and do a slightly smaller offset for you guys. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let's choose Offset. So this will always show our last dimension, so let's do 0.1. So you can see a little bit more closer, a little bit closer. So I'm going to select it, choose a color. I like to choose white because that's what it will be at this point. Cool. I think that's a good option for me. You can obviously choose what you want. So I'm going to grab all of these here. So I'm going to click and drag this entire thing. This selects my arch and my baby pots. I want to deselect my arch, so I'm going to hold down Shift. We have it all right here. Control G, group those together. And actually, let me go back. I hit Control Z. I'm going to do the same thing, but with just the bottom. Control G, group, and then leave that, and then group both of these. And the reason why is I am going to be cutting these separately on 2 sheets of acrylic, and so I want to make sure that I don't have it, I'm able to separate these. Alright, so now we just need to work on our alignment with our text up here. I'm going to hold down Shift and click on both of these to select both of them. We'll go ahead and make our font white so we can see it. And I'm going to make my line color white so we can kind of see it a little bit easier. Now this one we don't have to worry about thickening up because we're using acrylic. So I'm going to bring up my August a little bit and kind of work from there. And actually what I'm going to do is, I've been looking at this thinking it looks weird because I missed part of it. We're going to do August 2023. And the reason why I'm doing that is because that's when she's due, that's not when the party is, but also it kind of fills out that space a little bit more. Okay, so we have our design right here. I'm going to do this pretty simple, so I think that like this is pretty close to done. I am going to grab my entire design real quick, except the arch, and I'm going to use my arrow to bring it down. I want my text to start closer to where this arch is, okay? Now I'm going to cut these pieces separate, so like moving it doesn't really matter that much, but I want to be able to visualize it before I go. Cool. So our arch is already cut. This will be vinyl. So now we're going to export this in different sections. I'm actually going to be cutting the vinyl with my Siser Juliet cutter. I've been using that a lot more. And so I'm still designing in Silhouette Studio because it's what I know and I love it. But I will cut with the Juliet. It's a lot faster. It's a little bit more accurate. I'm kind of switching all my projects to that. And then we're going to do acrylic, so Glowforge for this. So let's go ahead and grab the Let's Celebrate and do August, so 1, 2. We're going to go to File, Save Selection, and Save to Hard Drive. So we're going to save this as an SVG, and you can choose your folder. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder for the welcome sign and go from there. Alright, so I have that one, and now we can go ahead, grab our baby pots, and same thing, save selection, save to hard drive. We're already in our welcome sign folder, so we just need to choose SVG, and then this will be baby pots, or you can do acrylic, the material, welcome sign. Whatever naming convention you want. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and get that ready. I'm going to get my machines ready, and then I'll see you in just a second for the cutting of both of these. So we have our Juliet. It is on. So we have our material here. I am using Oracal, 651. I don't have any Siser PSV on hand, otherwise I would use it. So there's a lever in the back here. I'm going to go ahead and push it down to lift these rollers so I can feed my material in. So we're going to go through, kind of push it through. I can't really see right now. There we go. Okay, so here's our vinyl. I'm going to kind of unravel my roll a little bit because I have not gotten my roll feeder yet. And I'm going to align it with these notches right here. Bring it down. So now you can see we have it set really well. And I'm going to use my arrows to kind of line it up to set my origin. So it's a little bit different than what you're used to with like a Silhouette or a Cricut, but it works really well. So they have program settings in here for PSV. You have Starling Edge Holographic Glitter Pattern Plus, and then you can also kind of add more and put your own in there. I'm going to go through, and this vinyl is a little bit thicker and I've been having a little bit of trouble with it. So I'm actually going to start with the glitter settings. I know that's like kind of high, and I'm going to do my speed at 10 and my force at like 9. It is a little high, I admit, but I was cutting some smaller designs and it just helped me get it all through. So we're just gonna go ahead and use it with that. So we have this set right here. Let's go ahead and send it. Okay, so I'm in Leonardo Design Studio. This is the cutting and design software from Siser. Pretty soon you'll see a lot more videos on this coming up. I'm kind of in a transition period, so I'm still going to be just opening up files from before. So we're gonna grab our vinyl text file, and it'll ask you what you want. Print and cut only, editable artwork. I'm gonna do editable artwork so I can still move it around to make my cut easier. So you can see, I'm gonna click right here to my artboard. My designs are selected, but because I chose them white, I can't see them. So I'm gonna go right here, just choose blue just to see it, apply, and now you can see our text is over here. So you can see this came in grouped together. That's okay. We're just going to right click and we're going to ungroup. And now you can see these are separate. So we're going to go through, bring this down, and you notice that this is longer. So we are also not going to be using a cutting mat, but I haven't been using them with the Siser Juliet anyway. So we're going to kind of bring this over like this and kind of line it up that way. So now we want to go over to our cutting mat area. We're going to do material roll, and we need to update our media length and width is fine. So we're going to go over to our length and set it to something bigger. We'll do 15 inches, you know, whatever. And then we're going to move this pretty close over here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to send design, and then we'll do all artwork that fits on the page, move each color layer to origin. So we'll do send. So you can see it only grabbed that one, so let me go back to design. I forgot to select it. Let's go ahead, move this into our artboard. So now we can send design. You can see both of them are right here. All artwork that fits on the page. Let's hit send. So now you can see it'll bring it to the origin. And here are our cut settings. So we're not using a cutting mat, we're using a material roll. We're using standard blade, and we're going to use the cut settings that we have with the cutter. That's what we just programmed. So we'll go right here, let's send a cutter, and I'll see you in just a second in Glowforge. Okay, so we're in Glowforge. We're going to create a new design, upload a file, and then we are going to go ahead and choose our file. So we have Baby Pot's welcome sign. Now this is going to process. You can see it's going to do all the preparing, arranging, all of that fun stuff for us. And this part may take a second, so be patient because it's, you know, processing the file. You know? Alright, and so what I did is I uploaded my text in here. You can see it was really big. I had to bring it up here. And I am going to be cutting this with 3M already on my acrylic. Now, it is large enough I could glue it, but honestly, I don't want to. So we're going to go ahead and use 3M. I put it over the whole sheet. So the first thing I'll do is I'll set my focus in my workspace. That will allow me to kind of get a better look at my material. It helps my alignment. And because I'm doing 3M, I always cut with my 3M facing up. It's just something that I find gives me better results. So this needs to be reversed. So if you don't have Glowforge Premium and you're going to cut with 3M and cut it like me, make sure you mirror it before you export it. But I'm just going to go ahead and use Glowforge to mirror it like that. So you can see here's my, my design. I'm going to go ahead and bring it as low as I can. And actually I'm going to rotate it so that we have, it doesn't really matter, but we have a little bit more space that way. It doesn't matter, but I just prefer to do it. So I'm going to do my cut settings. I have found with 3M acrylic, it does well with speed 120 and full power. Do your own test cuts, see what works well for you. I have found that that works well for me, so I'm going to keep doing that. So we're going to go ahead and print. Because the speed is at 120, it might go a little bit slower than you expect. That's why you need to do your test cuts. But you can see it's going to be about 10 minutes for me. So we're going to go do that, and I will see you in just a second. Alright, so our first cut is done. I'll move this over to the side. Let's go ahead and hit these three dots, set focus. While we do that, I'm just going to go through and find my other name. Oops, they're not touching, so that's what happened. Let's bring this in here. Just like before, I'm going to flip it. Again, you can definitely do that in your software before exporting, so don't worry if you don't have Glowforge Premium. I'm doing it because it's a simple convenience, but you do not have to have Glowforge Premium for that. Alright, so I lined it up in the corner. I'm using the same settings, so just rinse and repeat. We're going to cut again. Alright, so I got a big project here, so it's going to take up a lot of the screen. Let me see if I can lower my table a little bit to make it easier to see. Alright, so here I have my sign. So you can see it's very large. Right now it has masking on it. Now, this is the Dusty Rose, and I got this from Houston Acrylic because it was pre-cut. So my issue was that my Glowforge obviously can't cut this big. I was very limited on time because I just honestly lost track of time. But I ordered this on a Friday, and it arrived to Florida from Texas on a Wednesday. So it was really great for me. And so you can see I have masking on it, taking it off right now. All right, so we're gonna keep on lifting the masking. All right, so I have the masking off right here. There is paper masking on the back. I believe if this is like the 1/4 inch acrylic I got, the back is matte finish. Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and peel this. So we have a nice matte and shiny finish. So you can put it on whichever side you want. I haven't fully decided, but I'm leaning towards the matte side since this will be outside. Maybe to kind of make the other acrylics stand out more. Okay, so we have this set right here. Whew, I'm out of breath, pregnancy. And so you might see me moving around a lot. I have to line this up. You could create guides and cut out cardboard, but I'm not in the mood to do that. So I'm gonna take my Let's Celebrate and kind of overall like ballpark laying it out, like not final. We're just kind of seeing the space. So in my mock-up, it was kind of like a little bit above the where it curves. And we have our baby pots right here. So I'm gonna kind of eyeball it. Kind of go this way. And then I'm gonna get a ruler and start measuring from the sides. So, you know, this is what, 13 and something. So 4 inches. I just think it needs to come over more that way. This is almost right on. And you guys are gonna look a little bit off because my camera is slightly angled because, you know, I don't have a straight overhead camera. 5 1/4. Not even close. Five. This is closer. Yeah, this is about right. And then let's check. So what I'll do is I'm going to take my masking tape and tape it down so we can kind of work on really the spacing. And then our our baby pots, we can kind of work on that too. Okay, so we have it set right here. So, baby. So the T's go kind of like right in here, and the P goes like right here. Okay, so we're gonna set it up like that. Honestly, it looks good from here. Trick that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower my table even more so I can look straight down at it. Okay. 5.5. 5.5. Okay, so I think we're pretty good. So let's start with the vinyl. So I'm gonna go ahead, scrape this. We're using the hinge method. So we're gonna go ahead, lift this side, and cut this. And I'm just gonna kind of wipe this. I have a little bit of like burnt pieces or black over here because when I cut the paper masking, it does burn it a little bit, so I get these little pieces. So I'm just being careful with that. All right, so let's lift that up. Let's smooth this a little bit more. So this one, because I put the force up so high to really make sure it cut, it kind of cut a little bit too deep, which means that the vinyl almost got like sealed into the paper backing. So I just have to really burnish it and kind of put more pressure to make sure it goes into the tape and not the paper backing. So get that out of here. All right, so let's come over here. We'll come back to that. Hinge method is one of my tried and true ways to apply because it helps you ensure you have the right placement because you've taped it down and put it in sections, you know. And painter's tape is like my ultimate tool for so many things. Like I use it to mark places. I use it for, you know, my hinge method. It just is really versatile. And because it's like a pretty low tack, I don't have to worry about it like damaging things or, you know, anything like that. This is just paper. Okay. All right, so now we're ready to put the 3M on. I am going to go through, and I know it sounds kind of silly, but I have my like electric reusable like air gun. I'll link it below. It's in my Amazon storefront. All right, just clear out some of those pieces. This moved, but it's okay. I don't really have it marked. What I actually will do is after I said that, I realized I can mark it. So I can mark it. I'm just going to take this pencil because this is matte vinyl. It's going to erase easily. So I'm just going to take this and make a mark around the Y and then a mark around that B. So now I have my I can line it up by those. So let's go ahead, take this 3M off. And this 3M, I bought a big roll from Amazon. You can also purchase from Cerulean Tides, or really like a lot of your acrylic dealers will have this. So whoever you order from, whoever's closest, you know, whatever your preference is. A lot of them will have this. I'm just kind of going through there. Okay, so I still have the paper masking, but we're going to take this and kind of find our spot over here and over here. So I'm just going to like hovering over to find it. Okay, so now we can press down and work on our placement for this. So pots went right here. And then another P right there. Okay, so now we have a couple different spots because these don't touch. So, oops, I moved it a little bit. Do that. Do that. And then here, here. Okay, so I don't need too much. I just need just enough to find my spot, you know? Okay, so let's start with our P for pots. Oh, right here. I was looking right past it. Right, so we have our placement right there. We're all good. So now we can start peeling this. So be very careful because this is the side that faces out. I use a little tool and very gently try to go as perpendicular as I can to get the masking off. Just be careful. Okay, so this is all good. So I'm just gonna go through, do a quick cleanup, and then we'll talk about the final project. Okay, so here is our sign. I'm very pleased with it. So we have vinyl, and then we have our white acrylic. So this background is from Houston Acrylic. My white is from Cerulean Tides. And then this is just white decal vinyl that I cut with my Siser Juliet. So I think that this is gonna be a really beautiful piece for the shower. I'll probably have pictures in the video because it'll go up after. But I love how it turned out, and it was super easy to do. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe so you don't miss any more uploads. And don't forget, you can use the link in the description to save up to $500 on a new machine.